spicy, saucy take for your saucy nugs. Jalen Milroe will have his Heisman moment on Saturday against Georgia. This is a little saucier right here, I would imagine, Ari. So, look, we've already seen Jalen Milroe play against Georgia. He had one of his best games. I would argue his best game last year was the SEC championship game against Georgia, because the one that followed against Michigan was awful. And we saw some not great games for Jalen Milroe. The LSU game was really good, but I would say that his game against Georgia was probably the best top to bottom, front to back game he played last year. And if he can do that again against Georgia and Tuscaloosa this weekend, now I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman, because obviously we can have the Travis Hunter argument. There will be, other Quinn Ewers obviously is going to want his say in that discussion. Other QBs are going to want to have their say in that discussion. But the clip we see every week as the Heisman race goes on, I'm betting it comes from this game, and that he's in it every week from this game forward.
So I think I'm going to write about the Travis Hunter Heisman thing today after we're done here, because I've been thinking about it a lot. And Andy and I, just a little inside baseball, got into a mild argument in front of basically the entire national staff at On3 about how the Heisman should be voted for and whether or not Travis Hunter should be the guy. And we happen to agree as of right now. So that's pretty great.
Yes.
But Jalen Milroe had the coolest possible Heisman moment that a human being could have last year. And when you talk about Heisman moment, I guess you mean Heisman game, but like from a high, like if you want to use the
goal
word
from the
moment,
32 absolutely is.
Yeah.
But the problem was he wasn't in the mix at that point. So
yeah. Well, he got in the mix on my ballot. I put him on I think I put him at number 3, and people went absolutely berserk last year because I thought that his development and his play throughout the year got so much so good and so much better that he took an Alabama team that was left for dead, had the coolest play of the entire year, and put Alabama in the playoff, which is what I think the Heisman Trophy is kind of about. So, like, that's
I think it's about the most outstanding player, but yes, I don't know. That's only what's on the trophy. So
yeah,
what do I know?
I thought that he was one of the 3 most outstanding players because of what he did, and I don't know that necessarily is quantified in statistics and putting up 700 yards of offense against the G5 team. So, like, that's not. We just look at it differently.
Yeah, your last look at him was against Georgia in the SEC championship game before you cast that ballot. And he had a good game.
He was
now,
great.
It wasn't a great game. 13 of 23 for 192 yards with 2 TDs, but no interceptions. He took 4 sacks in that game, which is a lot. But considering the quality of the defense and some of the games we'd seen, like the sacks he took against Georgia didn't feel like unnecessary ones. They felt like, okay, this is the responsible thing. They just got me this time. What you saw against Michigan, against Arkansas, first half against Tennessee, there were sacks that shouldn't have happened, that he could have avoided. He could have thrown the ball away. He could have gotten away, and he didn't. He made the wrong decision. Against Georgia, you saw him making the right decision over and over and over again. And I think that's the thing that gives me a lot of, promise for this week, is that he's already seen this defense. He's seen most of these players. He's got as much or more talent around him now than when he played him last time. I'd say more. Ryan Williams, Parker Burrell's for their center that they got from Washington. Like, I think he's actually got a better offense around him than he had last year. I think there's a chance we see the evolved version of Jalen Milroe. And you and I saw him in person in Madison, and I thought he looked like a much better quarterback than last year.
Yeah, I mean, I also saw him live a year ago in Tuscaloosa, and it wasn't as pretty. So, like, watching his single year development, when I say Tuscaloosa, I mean against Texas. To be clear.
Yeah, that was
like so over a year.
Yeah,
a year-over-year improvement has been pretty dramatic. So when you say, just to clarify, that he's going to have his Heisman moment, you're just calling that he's going to have a good game, right, against Georgia? Like,
or he's going to make a spectacular play that we're just like, whoa. And it's going to put him in the race, keep him in the race, and we're going to see that play over and over again.